first 6 chatwara are grouped together. They're studied as like one section, and this investigation chapter is separate. They study that as a separate unit. So this is for examination purposes in the monastic training.
So it means that there are no different monastic Abhidhamma traditions, but there's only one tradition, but within that maybe different approaches.
Yeah, so I think it's based on the national examinations. So they have the examinations in the Myanmar monastic society for monastics. They have to pass through a number of examinations. So those examinations are national. So they're all preparing for the same questions, but they might have different teachers teaching in slightly different ways. So
but they're not traditions.
They're not traditions. So actually, if that says traditions, I think the S should be dropped. I think it should be tradition.
Because then it gives like, okay, we think that in Myanmar there are different Abhidhamma traditions. In the monasteries, okay, so it means only one tradition, different approaches.
I mean, I think that's another PhD in
So, okay, in Abhidhamma traditions, you use that word in several places. Myanmar monastic Abhidhamma traditions, Abhidhamma monastic traditions.
I think that's a mistake. I think there should be tradition.
It would convey some bigger picture about Myanmar tradition. So, and I think you try to build a relationship between Dhammasangani and this 5th chapter of the Patthana. So then the Patthana 5th chapter is dedicated to raise questions about the Dhamma. So then how a particular phenomenon is questioned in the Patthana? How many questions are raised? Can we get some information? Because as Padigaraju said, they are not much familiar with this, this content of the Patthana. That is Myanmar students' domain, not ours. But no, I like to ask from you. Okay, because if this 5th chapter is unique, and if it is studied widely by monastic community, so it should have some specific benefit.
Yeah.
From your summary, we can't see that, but I would like to hear from you.
Yeah.
So how a particular, of course, Avyakata or Bhavanga or whatever, is there some range of questions that are put to clarify the meaning of these dhammas? How it is questioned a particular phenomenon?
Yeah. So actually, I feel like a novice in this audience, but I'll attempt anyway. This was actually something that I'd not seen previous scholars. Even the whole approach to Abhidhamma, it's always through. Anytime I hear an Abhidhamma presentation or a talk explaining Abhidhamma, it's always through the Abhidhamma Sangha. It's based on the Abhidhamma Sangha. Any elaborations. So what I tried to do was go to the canonical text, to go to the Dhammasangani. So in the Dhammasangani, those questions are already asked. What is wholesome, kusala? What is unwholesome, akusala? What is abhyagata? Those questions are already there in the Dhammasangani. So in the investigation chapter, there aren't actually direct questions. You don't actually see the same question. They're founded upon the questions that already exist in the Dhammasangani. And in the beginning of the Patthana, there are 7 questions which form the model for all of the other chapters in the Patthana. So you might not explicitly see a question in this investigation chapter. It will just be an elaboration. Wholesome phenomena is a support for wholesome phenomena by way of root condition. That would be like just a statement. You'd always have a statement, and then it would be how. How does wholesome phenomena support wholesome phenomena? It then gives a description. It gives an illustration. And the illustrations that you find in this one section, they're actually more understandable. Because in the other sections, all these, it will just be one aggregate supports three aggregates. Three aggregates support one aggregate, two aggregates support two aggregates. It's very, very basic, very, very minimum. It's here in the Panhavara where you get an actual elaboration. What does that one aggregate mean? What do the three aggregates mean? And then by linking it to the Dhammasangani, so when it talks about Chitta, for example, you actually get the elaboration in the Dhammasangani, what is Chitta? Or you might find what are the Chittasika associated at that occasion, on that occasion. You'll find those elaborations in the Dhammasangani. So this is really providing, this chapter is really, it's really the first sections in the Patthana where you actually get to make sense of what's mentioned in the other sections. So this one is almost like, that's why if you can understand, if you can grasp the way that this is presented, you can understand the other chapters because you can see what does it mean by one aggregate, two aggregates, three aggregates. You get a more phenomenological presentation rather than just some sort of abstract number.
Then